All right, so good evening and welcome to the first Ask an Expert call. We're going to be talking about the FIRST Scholarship Program this evening. As I said, my name is Michelle Long. I'm the Scholarship Program Manager here at FIRST. We're going to go over a lot of the basics today. Since it's Ask an Expert, we're going to give you guys a lot of time to ask questions as we go through. Don't hesitate to ask any questions, stop me, ask me to repeat anything that you need, or if there's something you'd like to spend a little bit more time on, please let me know that as well. Please do utilize the mute features on your phones or on your computer so that we can make sure we're not talking over each other and there's no feedback. We are recording this evening's webinar so that we can post it onto the Expert files so that folks who were unable to join us this evening can go back and look at this in the future. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions that they want to ask before we get rolling, or we can just start reading on the agenda? All right, I'm going to take that as a no. So the first thing on our agenda this evening is we're going to go over the usfirst.org/scholarships site. When you're talking about FIRST scholarships, this is the first, last, most important thing that you need to know or that you need to talk to folks about. This website has everything we need. You can get to any of the scholarship opportunities. You can ask any questions. It's got my email, contact information. Everything you need is usfirst.org/scholarships. So we're going to do a brief overview of the website just to make sure that you're familiar with it and the way that it works, and then go over some best practices on how to search the website to find what you're looking for, whether that be specific scholarship opportunities to apply for. If you have prospective scholarship providers that you're trying to get some information to, a couple different things we'll go over that way. We'll then go over how the scholarship program works. I've gotten a number of questions at championship and at regionals about how the program works, how FIRST fits in. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we'll talk specifically about the criteria for individual scholarships, how to find out what that criteria is, so that as you're working with students, you're able to explain how this works really easily. And then we'll talk about ways that you can promote the program amongst your students, to teachers, to kids in your team, to potential scholarship providers, and then we'll leave lots of time at the end for questions. So I'm going to close this. Bear with me for one moment. And we're going to go to usfirst.org. This is the easiest way to start. I'm going to show you how to find the scholarship page, which is usfirst.org/scholarships. Easiest way is under About Us. And then you're going to scroll down here to scholarships, and you can click right here, and it will take you to usfirst.org/scholarships. I've got that open over here already. So this is our scholarships landing page. This is the first page that you get to when you're starting to look for information about the FIRST scholarship program. We've got a couple of different ways that it's laid out. So the first thing that I want to point out are the different ways you can get to the scholarship database, which is this thing over here that we're all familiar with. I know it's not the prettiest, but you can get to that by clicking here. This logo will take you directly to that page. Clicking here on scholarship opportunities will also get you there. And then you can click down here to show me the list of FIRST scholarship opportunities. I've tried to put this on some intuitive places on this page so that it's easy for students to get there, and it's easy for other folks who are looking for what scholarships are available. The other thing we want to talk about on this site are the other options that you have here. Scholarship winners. This takes you to a site that lists our recent winners. So as I receive information from the schools, I post students' first name and last initial in their state so that they get recognition that they've won. This picture here is all the students who were at championship and able to attend our championship scholarship winners breakfast. We had SpaceX and Woody Flowers spoke at that this past year. You're also able to access our newsletters. During the school year, we post a newsletter every month. So we do, these are not in order, sorry about that, January, February, and March. I'm going to begin those in September, October of this year to keep students, parents, teachers, everyone informed of what's going on in the scholarship community, upcoming deadlines. We do also allow some of our providers to put information in there as well. And over here we have frequently asked questions, testimonials, some additional resources. What I do want to show you is our Offer a Scholarship link here. If you happen to work for a college or you know someone who does or is interested in providing a first scholarship, this is where you would want to point them. This is also a great resource for where you as either a mentor or a parent can go in and find some more information about how to talk about the program. So we'll go back to this in the end. Any questions at this point? Okay. So let's talk about the scholarship database. So I have had feedback from a number of folks that this isn't necessarily user-friendly, that they'd like to see a different layout, and they have some confusion. I absolutely understand this. It's by no means ideal. I can readily admit that. What we're looking to do on this, we are hopefully having some updates to the database this year, but what we're going to do today is go over the way that it works currently so that you can be proficient in it, and then any other updates we'll make sure to put out a newsletter or put out an email blast either to Facebook or Twitter from there. So, easy sort of hints and tips. A lot of stuff is here at the top. How to sort and filter your scholarships. We list the scholarship provider. Each of these scholarship names is also a link, so you can click on it and be linked to the university or provider's website. So we clicked on Western Engineering, it takes you right to the Western Engineering website to learn more. We've got the brief description, which tells you how much the scholarship is worth and if there are any major requirements. And then the deadline, the number available, if it's FRC or FTC students who can apply for it. We do have a large surge this year for scholarships that are available to FTC students. As of earlier this week, we have over $17 million available for FRC students and over $12 million available for FTC students. So we're making some inroads there with both, moving forward with additional scholarships. Grades here is sometimes confusing. This refers to the grade or age level that you should be when you're applying to the scholarship. There are very few that are limited solely to juniors. Most of them are available for seniors. And P means that you can apply to it post-college. Excuse me, post-high school, so when you're in college. And this is the date that it was posted by me, so you can see if there are any updates, anything new there. We also have over here, we highlight scholarships that are new, so if you're proficient with the scholarship database, you can go in and see what's new, what may be different. So you can sort is the first way that you're going to want to work through these. You can sort by new scholarships at the top, by the scholarship provider, which will make it alphabetical, by the location, which will sort by state, and then, or excuse me, by country and then by state. The deadline, recent, most recent to latest, and then the date that it was posted by me. Not necessarily the most handy way to sort things there. But if we sort by scholarship provider and then press update, we'll be able to see all of the scholarships in alphabetical order. Next to most scholarships, you'll see more details and view application. These are the this is the paperwork that the schools give me. So more details will take you to the description of the scholarship, which goes into detail about what the scholarship is and who qualifies for it. So as you talk to students or parents and they let you know what they're looking for, if they're not looking for a specific school, this is a good way to sort of narrow down what we're looking for. So this application for Adelphi University allows students who have participated in FRC or FTC programs, as well as students who've been mentors for FLL teams during high school, which is different than usual. So that's a good thing to note there. They have to apply for admissions, and then they have to file the application form no later than January 1st. To find the application form, we go back to the scholarship database and we click View Application. You would have your student print this out, fill it out, and include their 300 to 500 word essay and a letter of recommendation from one of their adult mentors, and send everything in to Sherry here at Adelphi. Each scholarship has its own description, has its own qualifications. They do vary scholarship by scholarship because they vary by providers. You can search by location. So if you are, let's say I'm in New Hampshire, I want to search by schools in New Hampshire only. I find Daniel Webster College, which is in New Hampshire, the Frank Mignoli Foundation Scholarship, which is available for students at any location, not necessarily just for students who are looking to go to school in New Hampshire. That's why that shows up here. Same with the ASME and the Gates Scholarship. You can also search by program. If you are an FRC or an FTC participant, you can search by that specifically. If you're a high school junior or senior or college student, same thing, as well as residency requirements. The hitch here with residency requirements, which we are looking to address, is that we do focus primarily on U.S. citizenship or not. We do have a growing number of scholarship opportunities available, especially in Canada, so we're looking to adjust that so that it makes more sense to students who are outside of the United States and are applying to those is what they would look for. It doesn't necessarily, if you're a Canadian student, it doesn't necessarily make sense that you would right off the bat go for citizen for a country other than U.S. And you can also click these hot buttons here to filter by some of these specifics. Any questions on how to use the database? All right. So what I want to talk about now is how the program works. This is sometimes a question that I get a lot of times from scholarship winners, from students, which I try to address here on the first scholarship page. So the most important thing I think internally to know about the first scholarship program is that the scholarships are all funded and administered by the scholarship providers. So folks like, pardon me, Arizona State University or ASME, they are providing the funds for these scholarships, they are collecting the applications, they are choosing the winners, and they are distributing the funds. No funds, no applications come here to FIRST. Sorry, I've got a little buzzing in the background. So if you have students who have questions, that's an important thing to note, that the funds do stay with the schools themselves. They don't come here to us at FIRST. We're not choosing the winners. We're more of a clearinghouse. We put our students in touch with these schools and vice versa. Any questions at this point? Okay. So who can apply? We touched on that a little bit earlier as we looked through the more detailed sections. Different options are listed either within the descriptions or in the programs here. So how do we talk about the first scholarship program? The best way to talk about the first scholarship program, sort of the easiest hints and tips, are to go back to this first page that we were on here and navigate to offer a scholarship. It doesn't necessarily make sense right off the bat that this is the easiest way to get here, but this gives you all of the information that you need. This is our site for prospective providers, but it also gives a lot of information to mentors and parents. So you can read testimonials from some of the providers. We also have testimonials that we're collecting from current scholarship winners. So you can do this on your own time. I won't make you sit through here. I won't read these to you. But lots of different information so that you know how to speak to the program. This document here, Provider Opportunities for Colleges and Universities, gives you a very quick glance of what the scholarship program is and why it's important to fund, as well as how it works. I'll give you a second to read over these. We have a similar document for corporations and associations who offer scholarships, and we developed a first scholarship program calendar. This is new this year. We find that it's been very useful for our scholarship partners to sort of get a sense of how FIRST works. We do have FTC kickoff coming this weekend. We will have our hopefully have our scholarship video ready to play alongside kickoff. That will also play in the FRC kickoff, and it will be available on YouTube for you to view and use. We are also adding this year scholarship tables at some of our FTC events, so you'll see a larger presence at the events as well. And then how to become a scholarship provider. Gives some basic information here, but it gives you an in-depth look as to how these scholarships are put together, why schools or corporations make the decisions that they use, and for that you can internalize that information and use that when you're talking about the scholarships themselves, when you're talking to students about why it's important to get involved. And then we have some templates down here. Again, maybe not necessarily the most useful in your cases, but good to know that the information exists. So as promised, I left a lot of time for questions. The main goal here is to answer any questions you have about the scholarship program, how it works, what we can do to improve it. I'm here to take suggestions as well. So please, individually unmute yourselves and let me know what questions you have or concerns or issues that you'd like to talk about. Anyone have anything?
I don't think so.
Oh, it looks like maybe there's a Patty trying to speak.
No, I think that you covered everything very well. That was very helpful for me. I've used the website a little bit. It's not real intuitive, but I've been able to kind of muddle through.
Great. And we're, like I said, we are working on some updates that will hopefully, my hope is that the updates to the way the database works will be mid-season, but I can't guarantee it at this point. We're still in the process of looking at having that work done. But I understand that it's not intuitive, and I am addressing the issue, so at least you can know that.
Now, do you get it, the providers, do they tell you what the selection is, or is that up to the student to kind of report back to you folks?
That's a great question. So I work with the providers individually for them to tell me who they've selected as their winners. We don't have any formalized agreements, so it's something that they do based on the fact that I maybe bug them enough about it. But for the most part, we do collect information, basic information on all of our scholarship winners. At Championship, we do also allow students to sort of self-select and come over to Championship Scholarship Row booth and let us know that they have been awarded a scholarship, and we do record that information as well.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
This is Diane.
Hi, Diane.
I just want to say hi. The other day I got on and, I looked personally for myself. I looked
Great.
for, a senior and looked for something for my son. And it filtered out everything very easily. I thought it was easy enough to navigate. So I was happy
Great.
with it.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Anyone else? Any questions or comments? All right. Well, that was easy. I do want to make sure that everyone noticed I do have my contact information on the agenda, and definitely do keep that. Don't hesitate to call or email me if you need anything. I'm here to help. So let me pull that back up for you. So here, I'm always available on email. Email is always easier than phone. But don't hesitate to email even with quick one-off questions, and feel free to pass my contact information on to your teams as well. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for spending your Wednesday evening with me, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.